Hi guys, it's me, Abby. It's definitely been a while. I'm so sorry for that, by the way. I was going through my junior year of high school when I recorded that video, and junior year obviously kicked my butt because I haven't recorded any videos since. But now I hope to record more videos over the summer, so let's hope for that. Well, today's video is on Splatoon, my favorite video game ever. Like everyone that I know personally, even my own parents know that I'm obsessed with this game. It was definitely my whole personality throughout middle school. Well, anyway, we're going to be talking about my favorite part of the game. My favorite part of the game being the Splatoon bands. The role the bands play in the game is that they obviously play music while you are playing the game, so if you're in a battle, you'll hear the music that they play. But what makes these bands so interesting is that there are so many of them, and every single one of them has their own different kind of lore. But most of the members of these bands are either fish or other marine animals, so I took it upon myself as a fun challenge to make them into humans. So today I chose 3 bands that I will be turning into humans. So enough talk, let's draw. Okay, starting off with Bottom Feeders, my favorite band in the whole entire game. They're also my favorite design-wise, so I really wanted to make sure I got them perfectly. Hence why the sketching process is completely deleted from this video. It was just too long. But anyway, let me give you some backstory on this band. The Bottom Feeders are a 5-person Celtic rock band. They originate from a country up north and predominantly perform live, spending most of the year on tour. They've been consistently using their own label ever since their debut. The 5 members include Finn Feeder on the fiddle, Tangle Feeder the vocalist, Murdoch Feeder the guitarist, John Feeder the bassist, and Birdie Feeder the drummer. Well, anyway, let's get into the drawing. I tried a new process for all the drawings in this video. I've been trying to experiment with actually not using line art at all, and rather using my sketch as a basis to color in, and then render accordingly. But this was really hard and very, very time consuming. So much so that the first 2 drawings in this series took me a week to complete each, and I consider myself a fast worker. But designing these guys were really fun. I really enjoyed putting these guys' separate personalities into each of their poses, and combining them all together to make them look like they're having a live performance. First, as you can see on the screen, is Tangle Feeder. He's the vocalist of the band, like I said earlier, and also is a sentient piece of seaweed. He's the only non-animal in the whole Splatoon franchise. And since he's the vocalist, the only way he could sing is by rubbing his seaweed together, which is kind of weird to think about, but anyway. And that's where the scratchy vocals from each song comes from. Not like the usual way of Splatoon singing, which makes them sound like they're underwater. But anyway, for the human design of this guy, I made him just basically a guy. Thankfully, these guys already have outfits on, so it wasn't really that hard to make them humans. The only thing I did was give him some pants and make his hair curly to represent his seaweed. Other than that, everything's pretty normal. This is pretty refreshing because my last video was tackling Genshin designs, which are very, very, very intricate. So these designs were like a breath of fresh air. But wanna know what wasn't a breath of fresh air? The instruments! I'll get back to that later when I'm actually start drawing them, but oh my god, it was just so annoying. But now we're starting with Murdoch Feeder, the guitarist. This guy is weird as well, but not as weird as Tangle. Murdoch was originally a scallop, which is kind of weird to think about because I never thought the scallops were alive, but you know, you learn something new every day. So giving him a human design was kind of hard because I didn't know what color to make his hair. I didn't really know how to reference the fact that he was a scallop. So again, I just made him a guy. But I did give him a beanie to represent the shell of a scallop. And yes, he came with clothes too, so it was pretty easy on that front. But finally, I got to talk about how hard it was to draw instruments. Oh my god! I give huge props to Splatoon artists because they draw instruments so effortlessly in their style. Like, drawing these instruments legitimately had me on the floor. Especially the drum set. Oh my god. I had to cover it with like 2 characters because I'm not drawing all that. This guitar wasn't as easy either. Shading a guitar is so annoying. Well, anyway, the next character is Finn Feeder. She plays the fiddle, which I'm pretty sure is just another form of playing the violin. And the violin wasn't hard to draw, but it was the pose that gave me a lot of trouble. But for this character, I had such a vivid image in my head of what she should look like, so when I just put the pen to paper, I was like, okay, this is good. Finn Feeder in the game is a beta fish, so she has all those extravagant colors. So I tried to show them in her braids and in her dress. Making the orange in her hair was a fun challenge for me too. And Finn is unfortunately the only character who's going to be shown in Splatoon 3. Even though I love her for that, it should have been all of them, I swear to god. She appears as a guest in a song, so it's not like she left the band or anything, but you know, I had hope that Bottom Feeders were going to come back because of their chaotic kind of music, but you know, some dreams just never come true. Now that I think about it, I have been very lucky with my favorite bands returning to Splatoon 3. Except for Trippy Chips, but everyone loves them. And here's me adding a neck to Murdoch Feeder because he didn't look like he had one. Now it's time for John Feeder. He's the bassist of the band, so I try to give him like a silent type kind of look, you know what I mean? But also very serious. John is also a shark in the game, so I gave him like kind of a Polynesian kind of ethnicity to match with that theme. Again, all is well except for the instrument. He was given clothes and, you know, I made his hair the same color as like his skin was in the shark kind of look. So everything was good there. But overall, it was pretty easy and the drawing process was fun because, you know, this new style I'm going for is hard, but hard in a good way. But next is Birdie Feeder, the drummer. He's a globefish, which I only found it existed today. Never mind, I switched up. It's literally just a pufferfish, so we're good. I made his design pretty simple too. I just gave the fins on the side of his face his hair color, so, you know, that was pretty fun. But like I said before, the drum set was a pain, but you know, eventually I got it. And even though I've been complaining about how hard the instruments were to draw, the lighting and background wasn't that easy either. I really need to practice how I draw backgrounds because it just simply is not working. I worked on the background a little bit in the beginning, but it still like wasn't working out for me. So I had to add like copious amount of lighting, which was pretty hard too, and shading to make it seem like they were actually at the background, like the venue that they were supposed to be drawn in. But finally I got somewhere and now it looks really good and I'm actually really proud of this piece and I hope you enjoy it too. So the first piece for the bottom feeders is done. Now it's Wet Floor's turn. They are a 5-member band that consists of Mizo on guitar and vocals, Riley also on guitar and vocals, Keaton on the synth, Neil on the bass, and Candy on the drums. Even though these guys aren't my favorite band, they definitely come in a close second. These guys are the main band in Splatoon 2, which means besides the idols, they have the most songs in the game. 5 songs to be exact. And these guys' songs never disappoint. Oh my god, they are all just so good. But in Dolphin Surge, the one playing in the background is definitely my favorite. Well, now let's get into the characters. I'm currently drawing Mizo right now. He's the male voice you hear in all the songs, but he also plays the guitar. This guy was definitely the hardest to design because he had this really puffy hair that I did not know how to draw correctly. So in the end, I just turned his puffy hair into fluffy hair and gave him the clothes that he was given in the art. But you're probably wondering why I'm not drawing them performing, and the simple answer is that they had too much instruments. After the bottom feeders took me so long, I was not drawing all the instruments again. So I went more for like an album cover kind of feel, which worked out in the end. Now I'm drawing Riley. She's also on guitar and vocals, and she was pretty easy to design too because she's also an Inkling. And if a band member is an Inkling or Octoling, they're really easy to design because Inkling and Octolings are based off humans, so I didn't really have to try that hard. And her outfit was pretty cool too. The only things I did differently was make her shirt striped and gave her some pins on her jacket. And also her hair was really fun to draw too. Well, now it's time to draw Keaton. He was kinda hard but also kinda easy to draw. He's very much human looking, but he had blue skin, so I didn't really know what to do with that. But I figured out in the end that I wanted to give him like a kind of South Asian ethnicity, and he kinda turned out like the Indian Spider-Man in Spider-Verse. Mostly because of his hair and outfit. Not the glasses, of course. He plays the synth, so I try to give him like a relaxed and cool kind of feel. And the only thing I changed about his clothes is that he had suspenders. I didn't like them, so I just kind of gave him like relaxed kind of joggers with a colored design on it. Other than that, it was pretty smooth. And now it's time for Neil. Neil was also one that gave me a lot of trouble because bro just doesn't have a face. So I had to like reconstruct one on my own, which was kind of fun. I like the design I gave him, but I would definitely change the clothes and how I drew him in the actual piece because he kind of just like doesn't look right. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe you guys can help me in the comments. Like I said, the design is good, but like he doesn't look drawn right. So if I was ever to like fix these drawings, I would definitely change his pose or something that really made him look off-putting to me. But he was pretty simple otherwise. His clothes were also pretty confusing, so I just gave him like a t-shirt and cargo shorts. I forgot to mention that he's the bassist. Sorry. But now it's time for Candy. She's the drummer. She was originally a crab, a pink crab to be exact, which made her so fun to design. I just got to make her pink and like purple and blue, and it was just like so fun. She was definitely the most colorful design yet, so it was really fun to do. You can't really see her outfit in the drawing, so I kind of just gave her my own kind of punk-inspired outfit with bright blue tights. But other than that, I made the background simple, gave him a wet floor sign for good measure, and, you know, that's it. Here's wet floor. Now it's time for Despair. These guys were definitely a freebie for me, you know, because they're both an inkling and an octling, so they are pretty much humans. So I just drew this one for fun because I like the number 3. I wanted to do 3 drawings, and I also really wanted to try perspective, which was really hard to do with the other pieces because I was more kind of character design heavy, so doing this one was really fun. But let me give you some backstory. Meet Despair. This group is made of Econ, former bassist of world-renowned Squid Squad, and Robbie, the up-and-coming prodigy beatsmith. These two are a mismatch made in heaven, and when crafting new songs in the studio, they avoid each other at all costs, to ensure each track maintains its one-of-a-kind edge and tantalizing tension. Their localized names are Quinn and Mashup. Like what? So I'm just gonna call them their Japanese names, which are Econ and Warabi. Econ is the one on the right, and Warabi is the one on the left. And they definitely have the most dedicated fans. Like, their fans have made countless videos of them and art of them. Like, there's this video of them as they were off the hook. Let me find out who made it. I cannot pronounce this name, but I'm going to put it on screen because this video is really cool. You guys should check it out. But their fans are definitely justified because, oh my god, their designs are so cool. And their songs are amazing. Econ's heavy bass and heavy vocals really contrast with Warabi's beats and kind of soft voice he has. I wouldn't call it soft though. I would call it like kind of like crazy. Like it's not as deep as Econ's. My favorite song by them is Kinetosis, which is playing in the background. And this drawing was really fun to do because I don't do perspective at all, and I was really trying hard to make this look good. And I think it came out pretty good. As my first time doing perspective on digital, I think I did kind of, you know, okay. Definitely need to work on it and my digital process in general, but I mean, it looks fine, so I'm happy with it. The only thing I did differently for the designs was their hair, obviously, because I can't make it as bright as, you know, the Inkling and Octoling's hair. So I just gave Eken really brightly dyed hair, and I gave Warabi kind of like curly hair that's a deep red to match his ink color. But overall, this drawing was really fun, and I'm actually really glad about how this came out. So I hope you enjoy. This is Despair. Well, that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, I am sorry for how long this video took to get out. Like I said, junior year kicked my butt, but now let's hope for a better summer and more videos in the future. And if you haven't already, please drop a like and please subscribe. Well, that's it from me. Bye!